Welcome back to Dan's Messy Garage. This is going to be day 29 working on Project Betty, the 76 Mercury Monarch. In day 28, I sanded all the runs and sags out of the passenger side of the car. Then took some white paint and touched up the areas where I was sanding the runs and sags out of. So now this side is ready for clear coat. I need to sand the deck lid and the whole roof and the hood and the front end for clear coat. There shouldn't be a lot of sags on them. There is something right in here. Looks like a run. So I'll have to sand that out. But to my knowledge, the roof is okay. Deck lid's okay. And there's some runs on this driver's side. I'm going to tackle those first, because I'm preparing to get this thing ready for coat of clear. That's the goal for today. I don't know if I'm going to meet it, but we're going to find out. This is the left rear corner of Betty. Down below the character line, you can see I've got a lot of runs there, and of course right up on the character line. Those are going to be a little more difficult. And then down here, like behind the tire, some more up there. So this is a mess back here. I'm going to try illustrating a method, you can call it a tip or trick, where you sand the runs down without really screwing up the other surfaces too much. You take some body filler, thin stuff, and put a swipe across there. And then as you sand the body filler down, you take your run with it, and hopefully not tear into the regular painted area too much. So for here, since it's tricky with this one and that one so close together, so I'm going to body fill this whole bottom section and then try to sand that out as a unit. This is going to be tough. I'm looking at this here. There's a slight one here than that. So, oh boy, I'm thinking I'm going to just body fill that whole bottom. I'll get some real smooth glazing type Bondo, smear it on there thin, and give her a whirl. I mixed up some U-Pole Dolphin 1 fill. It's the creamiest stuff that I had on hand. I thought I had some icing, which is a lot smoother, but this will work. Got it on there very thin. You can still see the outline of the ripples. Now, I didn't do it up here. I went from like that crease down, and I got that whole panel coated. Then I also coated some other areas of the car that I screwed up. I'm thinking the problem is the paint. Well, yeah, me too, of course. But the paint is very thin, and it doesn't cover well. And it sure seems to run easy. So I'm going to probably steer away from shop line single stage in the future and get a better quality single stage. But the better quality single stages are about 4 times as much money too. Now for base coats, the Shopline and Shopline Plus work out well because they're not required to be sanded on. Hindsight, if I had known I would be painting this whole car, I would have done one of two things. Either buy a quality single stage paint. SPI makes a white color like this. Or I would just go base coat, clear coat. Good old hindsight, it's too late now. I'm sticking with this. I'm just going to end up using that thin stuff as a base coat and then use my SPI clear coat. But I'm just killing time waiting for that hardener to dry so I can sand on it. A way to know if the hardener is dry, I left some on my board and paper and on my, that just fell in there because I had that cleaned off. But when this stuff here is dry, then I know the stuff on the car is. This is nowhere near being dry yet. So I got probably 20 minutes or a half hour. Maybe I'll go have a cup of coffee while I wait. I'm going to start sanding. I have some 600 paper on a hard block. Go over that quickly. And not quite hard enough to sand. It's gumming up the paper, so it's not ready. Have to come back later. While I'm waiting for that to dry, I started sanding on the rest of the car. Got the deck lid sanded smooth. I got the roof sanded down. Half the hood. I'm going to do the other half of the hood now. That was a good idea that turned to crap. I put the body filler on the runs in an attempt to sand it down easily. Turns out I screwed up. I didn't put enough hardener in the body filler and it just wasn't going to harden. So I had to take some 100 grit sandpaper in my sander, sand it all off. So now I get to reprime a lot of the side of the car and repaint it. All the joys of trying to do something to make it easier and it turns into crap. I'll fix it. I always do. The gray sealer primer is on. I just need to wait about an hour. Then I can sand all that down. Mix up the white. Spray it on. Hopefully without runs. It's been about an hour and a half since I sprayed on the sealer primer. I'm going to take some 800 sandpaper dry and see if it gets clogged up or if it works. Looks like it might work. Get my little piece of carpet here. mainly to just get the roughness out of there, and if there's any trash in it, this will just smooth it out. Feels good. I'm gonna have to pull this plastic up, or move it up, so when I paint I can get into the white also. Yeah, that's gonna work. I finally have everything sanded down. It's all cleaned off. It's ready to go. It's also 9 o'clock in the evening. It's been a very long day undoing my screw up, but I have the paint mixed up. I'm going to use my little touch-up gun and spray it on in thin coats and try not to get runs, drips, errors, and sags. But I thank you for watching day 29, Dan's Messy Garage, working on Project Betty, the 76 Monarch. Come back for day 30, and hopefully I'll have something good to report. Bye.